So it's your boy Shawnee B. It's Brukout and chat, and up in studio with me is Gramps Morgan.
Yes.
Without the Morgan heritage, you're over here by yourself. We are in the UK.
Yes. We're live in the UK. Came over to do a little performance for Fashion Week for the ladies. They want to hear me sing for them. So they said, Gramps, could you come out and sing a song for us, mate?
I'm not part of the fashion world. Is it Fashion Week in the UK right now, bro?
Yeah, man. I'm singing at an event called Icons of Fashion, where they bring the future of fashion. So a lot of young designers that they bring in. So people like Gucci and all the good ones, and even a lot of the young ones. So I said, come on, we up there for the underdogs. So I said, I'm in.
So you're part of that circle?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
For real? How did you get in amongst all of these kind of people? That's not easy world to get part of.
Brother, let me tell you something. Networking is one of the biggest things. That's something that Buju always admire about me and say, yo, you know them people that are, But I love people. I love food. It's like earlier on, me and you talk about food. And I think food brings people together, man, more so than a lot of other things in life. But we all love and need food to survive. And that's why you always hear me talk about food, or even in my songs, you hear me talk about food. Because I think it's a communion thing. It's either that or ganja. Where a man says smoke a spliff, and it's a thing that brings people together.
Can I be honest about this? This is an honest conversation. This is not even like an interview. We just had talk.
Yes, man.
When you came in and you was on the phone and you was chatting about, I need £200 for each. Foreign, quick, fast. I'm like, yo, what's Gramps on? Music not selling, so I go on. And then I heard you say, I for reach over, so and pepper. Then I'm like, okay, when man I chat about high grade ganja, man say pepper.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but you're actually chatting about pepper.
No, it's actual pepper.
Scotch Bonnet pepper.
Yeah, Scotch Bonnet pepper. I do farming in Jamaica. I know I've teamed up with my keyboard player, and we're just expanding, because I tell people the Jamaican cuisine is people are always blown away by the taste of Jamaican food. And the key staple ingredient, of course, you have your thyme and your scallion, but the Scotch Bonnet pepper it's a pillar in the Jamaican dish, whether you make jerk or you make steamed fish or you make a soup. It's just that flavor. And a lot of people don't understand when you eat Jamaican food, you say, oh, what a flavor there. And you bring the same recipe overseas and try to make it, and there's something missing.
Are you a pepper basta?
I'm trying to get there.
Do you know what I mean by a pepper basta? Like, anytime I think of like Scotch Bonnet peppers, my father would have his plate of food, and he would have the pepper sauce, and then have a Scotch Bonnet by the side, literally a whole Scotch Bonnet, and just blam in the mouth.
No way.
My mother could do the same thing. Like,
wow,
it was like like some people eat like chicken, like a chicken kebab with a pickle or something like that. That some of you some bus pepper.
No, them serious. That's a real country.
For real.
Yeah, man. That's not normal. But it just goes to show you that the whole staple, the Scotch Bonnet pepper is in the Jamaican culture. And I've realized that from a young youth, loving food and then start to cook now for my family and cook on the road only on tour. Me, Mojo, Laza from LMS used to always cook. And when we have had time, and I never forget when it was a time when I was when Buju was incarcerated and I was performing with John Legend at Air Jamaica Jazz and Blues, and a man come backstage to me. This is how it happened. True story. I hardly tell the story. I don't have a reason to, but we're here with Shawnee B, and the guy said, "Yo, Gramps." So as soon as I come off the stage with John, and I did my song. No, Taurus did perform, and then I performed, and I came back, and I was walking down the stairs. And man said, "Yo, Gramps." And man said, he was calling my name aggressive. So I was like, who that I come? So I look down, he took a shot, man, and said, "Yo, man, if you talk to you now." And I'm like, whoa. I'm looking at, but Jamaican, we say, "Yo, he want the link, And he said, "Yo." So I went down, I said, "Well, go on." He said, "Yo, big up Buju, no. Anyway, him there, and I'm love where you had the theme, and I was like, "Why give thanks?" And then he calmed down and come to see the man was a very nice man. Then he started to talk about life after music. And he said, "You need to invest your money, you need to invest your money and do some farming." I was like, "What?" And I said, "Let me hear more." So him start talk and I say, yo, him have a farm and he want me help come in and invest in it and we'll take some of my money and flip it. And I'm like, this makes sense, right? Kaya, one thing with in music, there's a lot of ups and downs in music. But when you put something at the ground, it's gonna be there when you come back. I have to just pray for not too much rain, but enough rain and enough sun. And from that, I started to jump into it head first. And there's been ups, there's been downs. And then I started my own jerk sauce. So when I started to see that, I'm like, this is something that consistently continued to happen. Because right now we're not touring, right? And I'm here with you in England doing a little small event. But pepper still a sell. And the demand for Scotch Bonnet pepper is still there. I think if you plant up the entire Jamaica Scotch Bonnet pepper, it will still not be enough for the demand. And a lot of other cuisine and a lot of chefs still haven't discovered it yet. So then I started to do crushed pepper and start make my own pepper sauce that I even brought on the Welcome to Jamrock cruise. And Damien was like, yo, that pepper did nice, you know. And all the musicians, and I wanted to promote the brand. And I have a mild jerk, a hot jerk, a jerk barbecue sauce, and a Scotch Bonnet pepper sauce. So it's 4 SKUs in the line. And all I did was serve the tour, you know. And then we went on the tour called what was it called? Catch a Fire Tour, which was Damian Marley, Morgan Heritage, Stephen Marley, Skip Marley, Taurus Riley, Supercat came on some of the shows, them, Jamiri and Joe Mercer Marley. A tour of the ages, right? And we all had to sacrifice for that tour, especially Damien. He made a lot of sacrifices because Damien is you know what I mean?
Top
so,
tier, top
you know,
shelf.
top earner. The box office comes in big for him. So he had to kind of just say, all right, I'll take less, and everybody had to take less that we normally didn't do to make the tour work. And till this day, I thank Damian Marley for that, because it was a big thing where you see 2 families, the Morgan family and the Marley family, come together for the purpose of the music and the mission of the music, to let the music be heard. And I was making jerk chicken and roast fish and jerk salmon on the tour. I was the chef, you know.
So you are the big chef out of the family then?
Mojo cooks us. Mojo cooks to them.
Watch this now.
Yeah, but
hey, you just didn't take the win just like that, you know.
no, man, Mojo is a bad chef too. He Mojo bakes too. But when it comes to the flavor, I'll probably mash him up on the flavor. So Mojo, yes.
So Peter can't do nothing.
Well, Peter is a porridge man. Peter love him porridge, you know. But we all can cook, you know. The Morgan family, especially with grandmother, big up Una Morgan the first. That, you know, she always made sure that her children know how to cook. You know, it's not only my grandmother, but the Jamaican culture, Caribbean, right? Know how to cook, know how to iron, know how to clean.
Yeah, right.
Therefore, when you get a woman in your life, translation, because this is the Shawnee B show, we have to translate.
Talk the way you want to talk. This is not BBC right now. We just have to talk.
Right. So, you know, so when you get a woman in your life that she not give you burnt rice, and you say, baby, it tastes good. No, babe, that burnt, man. You don't put enough coconut milk and rice and peas. The thing want look thyme and look scallion and look more garlic. You understand? Look more salt. So these things in a Jamaican home is very, very,
very important
part of the culture.
For me, I love the fact that I can cook. I met my woman, call her friend, and I say, "Oh, you know, I just ate."
Yes,
and you know, so your brownie points just gone sky high there. So if you ain't got them skills, you're in a trouble.
Yeah.
So the food business is going on well. It must be going on well, especially during the lockdown kind of situation. Like some of the shelves in supermarkets were empty. You get what I'm saying? So people like yourself that have got food growing out of the ground must have been. I saw the countryman them versus the farmer them versus the selectors them. So you would have been firmly on the side of the farmer then.
Yeah, man, the farming. I've always seen my grandfather, Cleveland Morgan, rest in peace, even when we was in the States, in America. In Springfield, Massachusetts, he always plant up him tomato, him corn, and every time Daddy would say, "Well, I go check Grandma and Grandpa and Papa." We didn't say Granddad; we would say Papa and Mama. And every time we'd pull up in the driveway, and this man would be in the field at the back and a plant up on the arm a reap and yes, me just get 2 pumpkin and me just plant. I'm like, this guy's doing this in America. So I always admire that about my grandfather. And then my father does the same thing. You can look at his Instagram page, our farm in St. Thomas, on the estate. My dad comes down every morning and say, boy, I gotta plant some chocha. And say, Stuggle, we're gonna plant some chocha. And then he, for 2 months, because he knows a quick crop that. And before you know it, he's on Instagram and he's down there because I haven't seen him for like 2-3 months. And I see him on Instagram. Today we're reaping pop choy. And I'm like, there's no feeling for a man to know when you put food in the earth and nurture it and see it come forth and you can cook with it. It's a feeling where every man should experience.
You see Sasko doing it as well, Agent Sasko.
Yes,
You see we and Marshall are doing like a plantings and everything.
I've inspired a nation.
Now, saying all of this, Gramps, when are we going to see a Flying Award documentary or something like that from the Morgan Heritage family? Because there's decades of history, there's decades of service to reggae music, there's accolades, there's big songs, then there's what you're doing with your food, there's Mojo in Kenya. Like, you guys are, it's so much. When are we going to see the doc?
It needs to be done. Like me and Mojo was talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, there's a time, there's so much things that Morgan Heritage has done that has influenced our industry. And we just sit back and smile and say, yes, we've done our job. And the job is to inspire and to uplift the next generation. So if you come and you have something to offer to this culture and this industry, and you see it not taking place, or you see it not taking on to flesh, then you haven't done your job. So the story is still being written. And that's why we haven't put it out as yet. We've done a mini one years ago, maybe about 20 years ago, when we first went to Amsterdam. The national television station saw us and said, this family is crazy. You guys do music and you're all on tour together. And that played in Jamaica all the time. But there's a big one we talk about when we went to Gambia. And 5,000 people showed up outside the airport. These stories need to be told. So when I see these young artists, the other day Popcorn went to Gambia and it was like a big thing, and Popcorn sold out the stadium. No, we did that. That was, I'm just happy to see that.
But it's easy for reggae. I wouldn't say easy, but it's known for reggae to do that. But for dancehall to do that. For
dancehall to do that. That's what I'm saying, where we lay the foundation, and before Morgan Heritage, there's people like Israel Vibration and Burning Spear and Toots and the Maytals that went to Nigeria and had to perform for 5 hours. After he performed for 3, and they was like, you have to play some more music. 5 hours. These stories are not being told. So, like you said, because we have, the internet now, and we have YouTube and all these different social media platforms, we need to tell our story, because when Morgan Heritage bust, there wasn't social media.
Do you know what I'm thinking? In the mainstream, because I have to put in the mainstream, in the top tier of reggae and dancehall, I'm not thinking of many bands that come to mind. Like bands.
Yeah, it's true.
Because you mentioned... you could go in a Third World, Black Uhuru. If you go back to those, you can say top tier bands. What other bands can you say right now, like bands that have stayed the course of time, that you guys have stayed the course of time?
Not many. The closest one to mine is that's still playing relevant today. Probably still Pulse, still killing the game.
No, but I'm not even. I'm chatting about from this new era. Those guys have
there's
done.
None.
Like we can't chat about them. That would be blasphemy. We can't do that.
Yeah, no, those.
But I'm chatting about from like the 90s, 2000s, a reggae band, and bands was a rich part of
Jamaican music industry. Yeah, that's a good. Why that's serious, Shani. That's why other people have to tell a story, and we need to listen to our story from other people's mouth, because I never looked at that. So when you mention that, I mean, from the 90s, when you talk about, let's even take it from 1995 till this time. How many bands? I don't know. Of course, I've seen Raging Fire, which was
Raging Fire came to
I
mind.
was like, I had so much. Remember, my brother Luke's managed them.
Yes.
So I mean, they were on our radar that much that we said these guys need to. And my brother went there and took them on as management and did his best, and is still managing them, I believe. And then the pandemic happened, and then before the pandemic, the lead singer left the band, and you know, and every time people said to Morgan, I just said, "Boy, no easy for a band to stay together, I don't care. Everybody always go out and do them solo thing, or the band mash up for whatever reason." And like when I put up my new solo album, Positive Vibration, people were like, "What, Gramps, you left the band?" And I said, "Brethren and sistren, this is my third solo album." And I've came back, we won a Grammy. You was the title track of the album, Strictly Roots, which was made here in the UK. So it just shows you that we're able to go out and do things on our own and come back. And I've done it 3 times. 3 separate times. Went out on tour with Buju. Buju said, "Yo, what, you done tour?" We met up in Madison Square Garden. On that show, let me tell you something. These stories need to be told because people don't want to tell them stories. Right?
This is why we're doing it like this. Brukout and shot.
Yeah, listen to me, people. I was on tour with India Arie and John Legend, right? And the tour stopped in New York City. Buju got a call that I wasn't aware of, right? From Tracy McGregor, who was managing him at the time, and said, "John Legend would like you to perform in New York City." I don't know how that conversation went. I don't even want to go deep. But Buju showed up, right? On that show, India Arie was the opening act. Boom, I was touring with India. Medufu song, amazing, right? 18,000 people. The show was sold out. Listen to me. There were some special guests in the house, right? You know a guy named Rick Ross?
Come on.
Right, okay. Another guy by the name of Kanye West.
Okay.
Right, it was that guy, right? And then Adele.
Okay.
No, was not Adele. What was American boy? That's what she name. What's her name?
Estelle.
Estelle. So it was Rick Ross, Kanye West, Estelle, and Buju Banton. These were the collabs for the night that John Legend said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome stage." Rick Ross, go up there, mash it up. Estelle, go up there, mash it up. Kanye, mash it up. I remember I said Kanye West signed John Legend, right? So John Legend is Kanye West's artist. Let's be clear. People tend to forget so easily in this time. And then they invited a man named Buju Banton. You know that brother, eh? Listen to man, all the duets, everybody got. Rick Ross went up, did his thing, crowd went wow. Estelle, crowd went wow. Kanye, crowd went wow. So them call up Buju Banton. I'm a chat to in the world. Buju come up there and say, and John Legend said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my very good friend, Buju Banton." Listen, the last time that energy of Goosebumps hit me was when Shabba Ranks was on tour with Bobby Brown in the same arena with a tour called the Budweiser Superfest. A New Edition. Ralph Tresvant was on that tour. Babyface, Shabba Ranks, and Bobby Brown. Massive tour. Buju had these white folks standing up on their seats in Madison Square Garden. The biggest firewood for the night.
Serious.
And we're talking about
I don't even need to say serious, because I know that is true.
Listen, I'm talking chilling. And up to the other day, Maynard was talking about that. And I said, "Brother, you continue to make history." You know, and just sometimes we musicians, we don't reflect. We're always trying to be the next. And, you know, me and my brother, we kind of just stay cool. And even throughout this pandemic, I try to say, let's not try to chase our own tail, outdoing ourselves, trying to find the next hit record. We need more so to take the music that has already been done, that has been proven, tried, and tested, the Down by the Rivers, the reggae Bring Back Love. Do you realize there's a baby being born every day that will hear Down by the River for the very first time?
It's a new song. It's a new song to them.
It's a new song to them. So these, and those songs have proven itself. That song stayed at, like in the top 10 in the UK national charts for a year. I think it was on Kiss, one of them stations, I don't remember. But at those times, music soaking at people. Today, a new record is out. 1 week, it lasts 3 weeks. Maximum 3 months.
Does that frustrate you?
Yeah, because a lot of songs fall between the crack. I'm
100%.
experiencing that right now with my new album, Positive Vibration, Shawnee, where because I understand it because I'm now in radio. I've been on radio since 2009. That's what
You
my
come
own
stepping
radio
out
show.
for me, you don't feel me well.
Yeah, I got my own radio show.
So
Shawnee.
now you understand.
Now I understand.
When the DJs don't hit you back.
Listen to me, now, man. I'm like,
That's why you don't cuss.
I never cuss. That's why even sometimes my label is like, how come this guy isn't playing the record? How come? I said, listen.
So you understand.
You
And we
don't-
had that situation the other day, actually.
Yeah. And
you had that situation. Me and Gramps had that situation. I felt like.
And I had to tell that man, said, I'm good, it's okay.
Good.
He's busy because from 2009 when I started radio and when my show started to become popular, the amount of music. So I can't even imagine a Shawnee B that's at the top of the food chain when it comes to radio and Caribbean music. It's like, I feel sorry for you because no, it's hard, Shawnee, man. It's hard because you're getting, and a lot of times you get your email box is filled with junk, sometimes filled with some mediocre songs, some good songs,
talk for me,
and then some wicked tune. And then sometimes the wicked tune them fall in the middle of the foo-foo songs, right? The songs that were not mixed good, produced right, bad songwriting, bad vocals. And guess what? Everyone suffers. And then the pressure's on who? Not the artist, not the label. It's on the DJs. They're the one that's under that pressure. So when I sit up all the time, it's like, yo, I understand. And I just be patient and say, they'll get to it. And I'm experiencing that the song with me and India Ari called Paradise. It's just now. Remember the album released from July 23rd in 2021. And people are just realizing the depth of this album and what I've done to bring the essence of country music and reggae music together, the history of Jamaican music. You listen to certain songs like Run Away, Baby. You hear the ska. And the people listen to it and say, boy, it's a country and western song. And I'm like, no, listen good. Take a good listen, man. But because they hear some of the instruments that is used on country music, they immediately associate say that's a country song. When I'm listening, it's like ching chak ching ching chak ching ching. That's ska music. So this project, I wanted to remind our industry of the greatness of our music. It's like I'm sitting in here and I look at all these vinyl on the walls, and this is like I'm in the Shawnee B Museum and I'm seeing a cassette tape. I'm sure you have some silver hack and some old some Metro Media.
I do.
You know, and I think we as a Jamaican industry, we're moving so fast that sometimes we haven't took the time to reflect on our greatness.
You're talking about your album, Positive Vibrations.
Yes.
Where do you feel that people didn't get that album then as such?
Yeah, I think when they got to, because the first single was People Like You, right? And I didn't even put People Like You on the album because, it's like how me and Buju treat the 23rd Psalms. It's like a prayer. So that's why a lot of times, a lot of soundmen can't even say they have that on dub plate because we don't do it. Much less, you probably get an intro. A man say, give me the intro of the Psalms, Panda dub, yeah. But it's not a lot of soundmen can say they have it on dub. It's just what they are, a sound get it pan dub with me and Buju. So certain songs you treat as a special moment. So that's why I didn't put it on the album, because it's a different vibe. Positive Vibration was supposed to uplift you, remind you of Jamaica and the Caribbean, and let you know it was an album to comfort people through the pandemic. That's what it's for. And also to tell a story of where I am in my life and just the reflection and appreciation of Jamaican music. So when a man listen to this song, it's like, and like I said, the biggest thing is that there were so much songs being released that every DJ didn't have. It's not like a time when people are releasing albums and it's a single driven market now, where Shawnee B is not going to get a full album in his email. He's going to get 10,000 songs, right? So how do you sift through all of that instead of a one Saska album, a one Buja album with 15 songs, a one Taurus album, a one Jamiri Morgan album? So it makes it easier for you to concentrate on a drive going into work, and you can play that album in traffic and you listen to it. But now it's like people, it's so much singles. So with Positive Vibration, this album, is a groundbreaking album. People are not going to realize what happened with this album probably for another 10 years. I'm telling you, Shawnee, because I can see it right now, because I had 2 years to make this album. I took my time, proper studio, proper mix, used musicians from Kingston, Jamaica, Toronto, Canada, and Nashville, Tennessee, and brought them all together. That even April 1st, we just like almost a year later, we're just doing CDs because we never released
no physicals, nothing.
No physical, because where I'm trying to drive our fans and our community who love reggae music, that's still
online.
Are looking, we're trying to show them, say, buy online, stream the songs, DJs. There's a lot of software. You can have access to 30 million songs. So I don't need to send you the record anymore. I probably a pre-release, but if you go on Spotify, it's there.
They want it on a mix.
They want it. So you
they
find
want
that
2 sound effects on it, man.
So you find, says Shawnee, that a lot of those records fall into the crack because it's hard to really focus on, say, boy, I'm going to listen this album, or I'm going to listen. And, hence you see even Bling Dog's album, he took what 8 years or something like that?
5 years to do it.
5 years to do it. And he took his time, and that's what you want to see in the industry. And there's so much artists in Jamaica. If we all take that mindset, we're going to make some great music. And this album kind of shocked everybody. It was like, culturally especially, because it was like, me hear them, and I'm here look violin and I look a banjo. Them I say, well, that country, it bad enough. But someone probably, I know my people. Me don't need to see them. I can hear them already. Yeah, and I might think that now. Me really rub out the bass side. When you listen to,
I've liked that as well, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I know.
More got Channel One Star, Max Field.
Right, me know my people them. But there's also, Shawnee, let's do the numbers. And that's why people like Shaggy, a Sean Paul, a Popcorn, they're doing numbers that a lot of artists are not doing in Jamaica because they're reaching out for the status beyond just the shores of Jamaica. Popcorn is a rock star in the UK. It's because he's catering, and he appeals to these young little kids, these little knucklehead kids that going to high school and it's like, yeah, and they like the little gimmicks, and it's pop,
everything. They love everything,
and that's pop culture, right? Why isn't Luciano connecting in the same way, right? And there's markets all over the world. So when I did it and I see what's missing in the love of reggae music, when Byron Lee was selling 500,000 copies, when John Holt was selling 1 million copies in the UK alone, on vinyl, on a 4-5, my boy Lollipop was selling 1 million records in the UK alone.
Is that audience still there, though?
Yes, it is. That's what I'm saying to you. And therefore, and this is what I'm sharing with you. This is an exclusive interview back to you now. I'm showing you, and I shouldn't be even saying anything.
You have to share the knowledge. You have to share it. It's for the music.
If you look, Shawnee, on the charts on iTunes, my songs are still on there on the charts. They're on there, and I'm like, who is buying this record? It's not the boom, 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 blah, blah, blah. It's not my core people. So who's buying it, Shawnee? Someone's out there buying it. That's why Toots and the Mayto was consistently able to tour. That's why Burning Spear was consistently able to tour and sell tickets. Ziggy Marley consistently tours whenever he wants. At random. I could do a tour. Sold out.
But then are you making music for yourself, or are you making music to serve others?
Good question. Well, this is what we need to do if you're running a business. If we manual sit down and make some bad rhythm, probably half of that stuff probably won't even reach on radio, because the vibe and how the music and the industry is moving, the kids are changing. And that's why the new dancehall youth might get such a fight, because they've reinterpreted dancehall music and Jamaican music how they hear it today. So they should be given the chance to give their interpretation to their generation. That's how the music evolves and grows. The task at hand is to maintain the essence and the substance of the music. So what they need is not criticism, constructive criticism, but mentorship. That is what is needed.
And that, 100% I believe in, because I took talking from the bigger man there.
Right.
But you have to be able to take the talking
Yes.
to fully understand. God, we're all knuckleheads when we're younger.
Yeah,
you get what I'm
of
saying?
course, yes.
But you have to be able to take the talking.
Yes.
And that's what I think I was able to do. I'm sure you did the same.
Yes.
I don't know if there's a split. I always talk about the split, but I feel that
But eventually you started to listen, didn't you?
yeah, 100%.
Right.
All the time.
But it shows you that we can't give up because they're going to be knuckleheads. That's called zeal and youth, right? So they're going to be knuckleheads. So you can't make that deter you as an elder or a mentor. Because if you're there to teach, just imagine if all the teachers in school took the attitude that me and you take. Say, boy, them not listen, yeah, man. Imagine. What would happen to our children?
Oh, they would be nobody.
They would never learn.
They'd never learn.
So this is what we need to understand as people who have done it. And that's why I'm unlike Shaggy. I'm unlike Mojo. I'm unlike Bounty Killer. I listen to them. Because these people have been there, done it. And so listen.
It's wisdom talking to you.
Wisdom. Shaggy's a man I listen to because he been there and done that on that level and took Jamaican music. When he was at the top, people criticized him. So I just threw him brown and rare. And even Shaggy has said, even recently in the news that, racism is prevalent in the music. It's part of it. So yes, but
100%.
also he's put in the work. He's put in the work. Shaggy don't show up late for interviews. And me and him was laughing and saying, if Shawnee B says, Gramps, I need you to be at my house at 3 p.m. If I show up at 3 p.m., am I on time, Shawnee?
No, you're not.
I'm late.
You're late.
I'm
And
late.
you know that happened to me with Shaggy. I had a Zoom interview with him, and the traffic catch me up on the road. And when I tell you, say, wait to traffic, I may have to message him,
Wow.
And then Ray, my manager, messaged me. I was like,
Yeah.
Shaggy's messaging me, and I'm like, Ray, I've got caught in the traffic. And that's military Shaggy, though. You know that,
Yes,
ain't it? That's
man.
the military part of
Yes,
Shaggy.
there you go.
But everything that you're saying is 100%. So is headline for front page 2022.
Yeah.
Your brothers mentoring Jashi, Ritical, and even Ioctane, even though he's in the elder bracket. He's middle school.
Yeah.
He's in mid school.
Yes.
Is that what you guys are doing? Is that
Yes.
mentoring?
Absolutely. And it's by example. It's not by, and we're doing that from afar. We're doing this in the pandemic. And it's just showing the song content, the topic of the song, because we all see it. We all grew up in it, but there's a way to say it, and that's proper songwriting, that's proper production. It takes time, and Joshi is a great artist. Have you seen the unruly battle thing that Popcorn did with him, and the way he went up against?
What? Can I tell you something? I did a freestyle with Jashi in 2018.
Whoa!
Just off of the Unruly Clash.
Yeah.
I seeked him out because of that. And here we are 4 years on, and he's the hottest thing.
You see, and that's what it's people like you that have to pay attention. There's not a lot of people that's paying attention because there's so much noise in our marketplace that a lot of times, like you
See when you're
said,
chatting about falling through the gap?
falling through the gaps. It's the same thing where
There
you're
you
talking
go.
about with my new solo album, where it's so much happening in the Jamaican music fraternity that in our marketplaces that a lot of good things fall through the crack. And here you are telling me now that 4 years ago you was already saw Josh and said, yo, we better watch this kid here.
Out of Nannyville, me do it. BBC had left gone about them business. Them camera, yeah, where I shoot now.
Right.
Them shoot it out of Nannyville.
So me I
Car,
said.
speaker, Bluetooth, mic, Vice, the freestyle. It's up online.
Wow.
Check it out. No lies.
And then the whole ritical thing, with Josh, it was just my family paying attention, right? I remember
But Ritical is from out of your side.
so from St. Thomas.
Right, from St. Thomas.
Mojo knew
out of
Ritical
East.
from me, he was like 2 years old.
Seriously?
Yeah. And he used to come to the farm looking for us enough time, and it just didn't happen. And then
he's a good youth.
He's a good youth, man. And therefore, you see,
good conversations, real cool youth.
They just need direction. So big up to to the guys that I think he was signed to our company named Eastside, and they were doing some things and Popcorn, and they were all doing some amazing things. And we're planning to do some great works with him to just lead him. Cause we love dance. A lot of people don't realize how much Margaret Heritage love dance. I like Shabba, I'm a DJ, Admiral. Really, a DJ means the DJ.
I like that.
Yeah, if you listen to my solo album, was it? I true said them never know singer Gramps coulda DJ pick up the mic like man. So in that song, me I tell them said, "You never know." If you talk about me and Shaggy back in Brooklyn, we used to have a Shabba ranks contest. Who could have sound like Shabba in my basement at Brooklyn? Like Shaggy will tell you these stories, and so when you listen to my voice, but my voice started to get deep and deep and deeper. Even I lost my falsetto. I used to sing like James Ingram. He used to go. I can't even.
No way.
No real talk.
No way.
James Ingram was one of my biggest influence, man, and Fred Hammond as a gospel artist that me wanted to learn to sing like, and then started to rediscover Lucky Dube. And then I was like, mix it all together. And those are the songs that you listen to are all influenced by other artists.
Hundreds.
But me used to DJ, even if you listen to that song, them never know singer Gramps could a DJ. Pick up the mic like Shaggy, please the people, them same way. 24/7 chanting, that's my payday. Ask if them love it and the people reply rate. And them say, under me Irish mash, under me steamed snapper. Gotta make sure it's clean, gotta make sure it's proper. Like you that was my thing, but me start focus on me singing because my voice changed, and Peter was like, yo, this DJ thing, y'all mash up your voice, and I just started focusing on my singing, and I kind of left it down, but it's me as a dance.
Did you tell me that Digital and Bobby Digital kind of forced it out of you to sing a little bit more as well?
Yeah, but Bobby always, because I was always like the toaster, right? In a Morgan Heritage, cause me and that's
you and Mojo used to fight over the 16 bars.
That's funny because
that's a Mojo spot.
Mojo always want a verse on it, and and what we just grow over the years and know that this song fit Peter's the lead singer, so you're gonna hear him on every song. But as a feature, we started to bring Mojo out and say, do a rap on this and this. This could take a rap. And then it started to become very unique that you started to hear reggae with rap verses on it. I think Mojo is probably one of the first, I'm not sure about it, don't quote me, but to start doing rapping upon it, that people like Sizzla started to take notice, and I say, yo, the rapper and the reggae band, the rapper. And Mojo made a name for himself, and I even think you talk about it, you like Kabaka Pyramid, that was influenced by rap, that could probably do a full rap album.
Oh, 100%. He is a rapper.
Yeah.
He's a rapper. Definitely. I've had those conversations with him.
Right.
I've had those conversations.
So, and a lot of the artists, them in Jamaica, you talk about,
Munga.
But from me band, and these guys are influenced by rap. And for many, many years, Jamaican artists have always been influenced by artists from foreign. It's always happened. Bob Marley was inspired.
Isn't it the other way around though? When we're talking about rap though, is Jamaica really influenced the world when it comes to spitting bars?
That's correct, sir. That is correct. Big up Cool Herc, man.
100%.
Big him up. I remember meeting him for the first time. Sharon Burke had an event in Jamaica. Shaggy was also there.
I was there.
You was there.
I was there.
And just to meet this man and shake him hand for the first time, to say thank you, man. Thank you for, and that's what it's about. Like when I tell you making this album, it's about taking the culture. Like people ask me, of course, I live at St. Thomas, but I spend a lot of time in Nashville, Tennessee. Them say, wait, how do this?
How much time do you spend in between? I thought you spend more time in Nashville.
There's a lot of times people don't realize so we're up on the mountaintop at St. Thomas because it's a quiet place. Yeah, it's not like me there on a mixing lab. I'm in the park. I don't live in Kingston. It's the same thing like Barrington. People say Barrington live a country, not Clarendon. And in some mountain where peace, I can write some songs, be inspired, the breeze blow cool at this.
So do you know the hilltop that Chronic Law goes to then, the hillside?
No, I don't.
Because he said you can't find me on the hillside, but he come from over to East Star.
You see? Yeah. So for me, the time is about, I would say 60-40.
Okay.
60-40, probably even more so now, 70-30 since the pandemic, because I want to be able to have proper health care. You know, you see what happened in the pandemic with a lot of people wanted to get medical help and couldn't get it in Jamaica.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know till this day what happened to Toots. Uncle Toots passed away, and we don't know what was condition. I don't know, but there's a lot of things that I hear going on in Jamaica with the medical thing where not even a hospital bed is available. So for me now in this time, it's good to be, and even America's having those same issues. But in Nashville, I find that there's no hype. There's not a lot of, you check out my gold chain and what kind of car. It's not, I call it 6-packs and Ferraris.
6-packs?
And 6-pack, you know, you have the sexy body and a fast car.
I think of Nashville just country.
Right. But
is it country?
No, it's chain. Remember Young Buck?
Nashville,
I know you're going to let me into this land. 50 Cent, Young Buck, G-Unit. He's from Nashville.
Yeah, but still, you can still be country, Young Buck.
It's let me tell you, it's not what, it's a city that's, people are under, it's the fastest growing city in the United States. Fastest.
Is it very musical?
It's
get
all about music.
That's what I do get.
Yes. No fluff. It's like, and there's the same India. That's why I love that lady so much, man. She just really helped catapult my mindset and to really take a look and reimagine my voice and rethink my voice and to dig deeper into developing. Because the first time she looked at me, she said, your voice is incredible. And me look and I said, man, they call me the rockers and, you know, and do a verse in that heritage. And then she said, you don't understand your gift. And, you know, I've always done my part in Morgan Heritage, and that will be for life. That's why I always say heritage for life. And that's why every time I did a solo album, it kind of shocked people. It's like, oh my God, see ya know, Shawty, my left about no, see ya. Right? And then boom, I'm back to my day job. Boom, hence we came back and won a Grammy.
Has there ever been a time where the band was close to the edge?
No. There's right now when we tour, you only see me, Peter, and Mojo. But Una is ready to. Remember Una got sick.
Yeah, how is she doing?
She's bouncing back. She's feeling good, ready to come back on tour. Una was actually ready to come back on tour before the pandemic. I wanted to say, Una, wait, just, you know, remember she had a heart attack.
Yeah.
So, you know, you talk about just life itself and being a mother and being a wife and trying to manage the mad touring with Morgan Heritage too. Dude, there's not a lot of artists that tour like me and my family. We go hard. You have got to talk about wheelers.
You're not an artist. You only a band.
Right.
We've established that already. The only band it seems like right now.
Yes, there's not a lot of bands that tour like us. So, you know, Yuno's ready to come back, and you know, but we was like, yo, Yuna, just take it easier. She had Mojo's like, Yuna, go and go rest. And I'm ready to tour. Like, she's such a warrior. Yuna, I love you so much, big sis. She's a warrior for the music. So we come up very militant, you know, we have to do the road and do your work and, you understand, get the message out there. But there comes a time when you have to pay attention to your children. Because along the way, we'll get some woman and make some baby. But now these babies are growing big. Hence, you see Jamiri that I had time to put in. Instead of, Jamiri was basically raised on the road. Because I say, all right, I sing you and sing Company Road. You're the opening act. So these stories, I'm never getting a chance to tell because we only got 30 minutes or 20 minutes to do the interview. But here, this is basically a very exclusive interview because we're digging into the things. So, and Luke's started to manage Raging Fire. So he was like, you know, I want to do some more of the bookings, so I'm going to spend less time. So it may be a show in Miami, like we had a show in Miami, Grace Jerk Festival. And Luke say, yo, I'm saying, Luke's come in and play a 2 tune. He knows the music. That's why we rehearse so hard now. When we rehearse, it's 12 hours a day now for 4 or 5 weeks. It's not
it's like the Jacksons, though, is it?
Yeah, very much so.
Just walk up, pick up a tambourine,
and let's go.
Start shit. Somebody pick up a guitar. Christmas around, you know what I mean, around the fireplace.
Music
if it's like that, you know what I'm saying?
And that's why it's important, Shawnee, to have certain things around your kids when you talk about raising your children. Put the right things around them, not just video game or put an iPad in front of them and leave them to them own destination. Even I get caught into that, and say, all right, give him the iPhone, make him stop in eyes, and the kid just start Peppa Pig in these shows, and you can't just leave them like that. You have to be there, because sometimes you don't even know what they're watching on these devices. So it's very important. So for us, when you talk about, okay, as Morgan has progressed for all these past 25, almost 30 years, and we're still here, right? It's like there's certain things that we know, say we will never let get in between us. And the biggest thing that me and my brothers ever argue about is as far as I can remember, is like, who are going in the bathroom first? and there's
no. It's not gonna go. If this is gonna be a real conversation, is who's left stains in the toilet? Piss up the
wash
seat.
out the toilet.
Yeah, something, sir. Wash out the bath, brother.
Yeah, man.
You can't beard like that. Just left it, son, dog. You get what I'm saying? Did you all grow together?
Everybody grew together.
So who shared bedrooms?
Me. At different points, when you grow to a certain level, you get moved to the next floor. Right? You go to the third floor.
So Eunice the eldest, yeah?
Eunice the eldest in the band.
In the band?
In the band. Okay. There's 30 children, my father.
Get out of here, man.
Yeah, man. It's 30 kids.
Daddy, I score goals,
yeah, man. 30 children.
30?
Yeah. And raised others with women that had other children for him.
We can't get away with them things in them time now.
People still live that life.
You say it like, live that kind of life. No. Well, 30
children.
No, if you got 30, you'll be on Instagram, Twitter, Tinder swindler, all these kind of things.
Yeah, but I mean, there's people in the current. I know a man in Kenya that has 86 children.
Yeah, but that's home.
Yeah.
Home, you get where he's probably legally married and everything.
Yeah, but
daddy was rolling around Jamaica, America, or whatever. 30, I got away with it.
30 children.
30.
One of the things
he must have got a lot of paint strip on his car.
He was always honest about, even not always, because him and my mom, we was having a reasoning the other day.
This must have been interesting.
Oh man, I'm telling you, they need to do a documentary on my family. So I asked my mother, I said, what was daddy like when he a date you? And she told me a piece, I'll give you exclusive piece here. She said, when my father was hiding, because she was looking for him, and she said, I'm supposed to come check her, but through my run to marry that girl. Him there on the corner hide, and she said, Dada, how we are? She used to call him Dada. How we are? See me, I run and I hide. So I was rolling and I laughed. I said, Daddy, you really in a hide from your girlfriend? And this is at 16 years old. You understand what I'm saying? So to hear a story like that from my parents, it's joy, it's happiness.
You see, the crazy thing here, Gramps, is I think sometimes we forget our parents were our age.
Thank you, sir.
And they were having sex.
Yep.
And they were cheating.
Yes.
When you listen Naomi Mommy song, Colleen Davis, you're stealing love on the side. That song, the terrible,
Yeah. Facts.
Yo, when you listen to old song, you're like, our parents were up to no good.
Yeah, they were teenagers.
They were teenagers.
So you can't trick your parents.
Does that thought kind of frighten you sometimes? Even to have that conversation with your mom and your pop.
Yeah, man. To hear it from her, because a lot of times men are celebrated for being rude boys, right? But the woman never gets celebrated enough for being tolerant, And that's the problem with relationships today, is that women are not tolerant enough to be patient on the growth of their man. Does that make sense? Our parents and our mothers, you had songs like, Stand by your man. You don't hear songs like that much today. You hear, I could have another you in a minute. Matter of fact, he'll be here in a minute, baby. Whoa. Right? So the tolerance of woman today is that what's taught is that forget about that nigga. You don't need him. You could do it by yourself. And then you find, say...
What they saw their mums go through, they're not going through.
They don't want to go
They're like, bullshit. I ain't going through that. You're mad.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
And sometimes you don't, and the reason for that, Sean, is that the growth of a man takes a long time. And especially the black man, it's not in our DNA naturally to be monogamous. It's not.
Wow.
It's not. We're one of the only species on the planet, Shawnee, that are pushed as the male alpha species to be with one person, right? And because our society...
So this is the part that I'm going to snip and stick up on that. When you say it's not in a man, did you say man or black man? Did you say...
Particularly the black man.
Jesus Christ.
In particular, the black man is not in his DNA to be. It's something that is practiced to be with one woman, but naturally in his DNA, it's not natural to be with one woman. And that's why I said the human species is the only living species on the planet that practice a rooster, him not there with one rooster. The bull, him not there with one rooster. The fish, the bird, I don't see it. And I'm sure there's somebody out there that's going to watch this interview and say, well, this ant stays with one ant his entire life.
Hold on. So what you are saying then is that what we are practicing and what we are keeping up is foolishness.
It's not natural. It's not necessarily foolishness, but it's not the natural way. No, it is not.
And so we are fighting against a system rather than working with the natural misfits. That's correct.
And that's why in some countries polygamy is practiced or it's allowed. And when you find that we have to learn monogamy.
So as a man, you're saying that. But if a woman was to practice that same train of thought that you have and is your partner, would you then, having this train of thought, what would your attitude be towards her if you found out that she cheated on you?
But that couldn't be my woman. Impossible.
So even though you understand that being with one person is not...
For the man.
For the man, not for a woman?
No.
Oh.
No, a woman can't do that.
Now you're stepping on dangerous grounds. 2022,
when she does that, we're in 2022. When a woman does that, Shawnee, she's classified as a certain thing. Even the man, when he does it, it is classified as a certain thing. But woman today, as much as woman want to make it seem like it's a problem, there's a lot of women that are starting to understand it and say, let that man be him as long as he coming home to me. There are women speaking out on polygamy. But those women not being promoted. So what me I gonna do is help you find them woman there and hear about polygamy from a woman's perspective. Because a lot of times
in the comments.
Yes.
Put it down in the comments. I want to read about
because
this in the comments.
A lot of times those women are hushed or silenced. But there's woman, my mother, when my mother meet my father, my mother was working for the Jackson 5 in New York City. She was one of the nannies that when the Jacksons came to New York, she was babysitting. My mother told me these stories, right? And then when my father did come to America on farm work to find a better life, he met my mother. At the time, him leaving baby mother at Jamaica with 2 picnic already, or 3 picnic. At the time, I don't get my timeline straight here. But when he came and met my mother, and hear what, he was straight up to my mom.
This is what the situation is.
I my baby mother back at home. Very, so. And when my mother said, "But I mean, not a problem, you know. As long as you take care of me and respect me all right." And there's women today that still exist that will live like that.
Is there something to be said about just telling the truth?
Thank you. You took the words out of my mouth. Because if you tell the truth and speak, there will be one for you. And every flavor, you drink Guinness, me drink stout. Not me drink soda. So everybody, you have to know what is for you.
Somebody will turn around and say, you know what, it don't bother me.
Right.
Everybody lives their life differently.
And if those who want to deal with one woman, me deal with one man. Right? And there was a point when me deal with 2 men. But as you mature, like, let's be clear, sometimes you get tired, man. Sometimes you did that. If you text 5, 6 different women, it begins to destroy your spirit too.
Do you know what I think? The older you get, it's just playing those games. It's just long.
Yeah, you gotta grow up.
And sometimes you just want to go home.
Yeah.
and home is where the family is or your woman is.
Yeah.
But just go home.
If if you're at 50, 60 years old and still acting like you're 22, something's wrong with you, right? And you have not made it better for a generation, and you've not made it better for your son. You're not being a good example for your son. So by the time a man reach 50, 60, in his life, he should have like an 18, 19-year-old son, 22-year-old son that is looking to him to say, Daddy, how this thing in him life go? And you have to teach him that. You have to be an example. You have to be a light to him to make him understand this is how it go. And don't make the mistakes that I made. Because even along the way, my father was teaching me certain things. And him say, when we used to run 3-4 woman, him say, boy, you're better than me, Gramps, boy. I mean, I said, no,
So the
Daddy.
father, so the son.
I saw my father said to me, and I'm like, Daddy, no. And he said, trust me, I was there, son. But just know that you can't live like this for your entire life. You have to go settle down soon. So even when I first got married, my father looked at me and said, you sure? Because I know how me I go on. So me I come and I said to him, boy, Daddy, look, think me ready for marrying. Him say, you ready for get married? It's like, Gramps, really? You think it real? Because I know the dog stealing are you in there. You know? And I reasoned with him, and I never forget, we was on the Vans Warped Tour. It was a big punk rock tour. And him say, me and you go for a reason after you're done perform. And me and him go and talk, and we went for about an hour and a half walk, and him just say, what is it that make you want to marry this woman? Some man must know what is it that make her. Sometimes, let me tell you something, Shawnee, it's not every woman is a wife. You have wife and you have concubine. And it's very important for a man to study these things in our history. Because some woman is just not made to be that. And you have some man with just
not made to be householdsman business.
Yeah. Sometimes the man does, you have some man with just did it to serve the kingdom. Mm-hmm. And just did it to farm up some things.
Serve the kingdom. Yeah. I have a few of those as friends.
Yeah, man. And that's okay. So that's why you have to know your purpose in life and where you're reaching for and what you want to do. So me as a king, when I was raised by a king, I have to have a certain mentality and a certain principle of how I carry myself and how I speak and where I go and things I want to practice. You have to be wise.
How does those different times in your life affect your songwriting?
Oh, big time. Big time. And I want to tell you, it's not every song, but a song like, She's Still Loving Me. That song affected me because that was off of a real life situation where my woman stood by me. Big up yourself, Carolise. Because it was at a point in our life where I hurt her and she stood by my side. So something like that, when a woman like that have to be celebrated, Shawnee. You have to celebrate her and say, boy, she never say, I could have another you in a minute. Right? Even though that song was out at the time. But she didn't say the equivalent to that at the time. She could have said, boy, I'm done with you. Hey, oh, man, you give me bun, I'll give you back bun. Right? We know this culture. She didn't do that. She stood by me. And I had to celebrate that. Me and Peter come and tell Peter what happened the night. And Peter said, Peter come over my house with him acoustic guitar that morning, the following morning. And goes, she's still loving me. Though I caused her so much pain, I've done my share of wrong, time and time again. Let me tell you, confession is good for the soul, brother. And it's the thing where a lot of men, we are not willing to walk through that door. And when we begin to walk through that door, we will become a better man.
If you didn't have the music for that kind of outlet, where do you think that outlet would have been? How would you have expressed that, especially to her?
I couldn't tell you. Probably in speaking a conversation, but a lot of men, when they realize that they've done wrong, a lot of things that may go into a spliff or alcohol or violence, right? But the music was that way of me releasing and expressing myself and to say, because no matter what happens throughout the transition of time and through life, that will forever be my apology to my wife at that time. Forever. Do you realize that song will never die?
Never.
So my great grandchildren will remember, because we are now documenting this. This will be forever, long after me and you. And this day will be remembered that I told the world that that song was an apology for me being hurtful, so to speak. And here it comes the natural way of man. Me was just being that natural, but I had to confine and behave myself. And if you don't want to hurt her, don't do it. But if you feel like you need 2 women or 3 women, you have to find the woman that are in the world who are cool with that lifestyle. They're out there.
Have you had any males come up to you and say, "Yo, that song that saved me"?
My God.
Because I know women artists will get the females like Mary J. Blige, girl.
Yes.
Girls.
Yes.
But do you get the man that say, "Yo, Gramps,
Yeah, man.
doggy, yo"?
Big time. Big time. That song saved a lot of people. And it just shows you the power of music and the responsibility that we have to serve, right? These musicians, we're there to be the soundtrack of people's lives. You know, it's important that we really take the time to really see how our music affects people, and it's there to bring them joy. That's what music is there for, to uplift us and bring us happiness. That's what music was created for. So when me did it and see, you know, at the time, and see how She Still Loving Me really impacted society, especially in Jamaica, where you find enough man and matey culture and man that they ain't too. That's prevalent in Jamaica, where a man have him wife and him have him matey. In Africa, the big politician, him have him wife and him yard, but guess who is his secretary?
Sweetheart.
I'm sweetheart, I'm secretary, you know. So him know, say, boy, wife, me see I soon come, I'm going into the office here. And in between time, him take a one piece in the work in the office, you know. So like me say, it's not natural. But you find that when you make songs like that, it becomes a soundtrack of a lot of people's life. Even this my new song off my new album, a song called "A Woman Like You." My purpose, what I wanted to see that song, is to make people dance again, rub a dub, and you rub off our front and say, "Well, this baby, by the time you done with that shit,"
That's
say,
a lost art form, you know.
Yeah, man.
It's a lost art form.
Yes.
Has Jamaica ever rub a girl?
I don't think
You
so.
ever ask him?
I gotta ask.
The son? You ever rub a
You
girl?
ever rub a dub
Rub a girl.
and hold a Guinness in your hand and say, "Oh, chung 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 chung."
Brother, they don't know what they're missing out on, you know.
Shawnee. So with this project, I wanted to, especially when I was singing that song, I visioned in the dance hall. Shawnee B, I say, "Listen, people, I have a brand new tune.
But that sounds.
No, this is the time."
I'll give him my Rory.
I'm trying to get my British
accent. Enter inside. Buy some warm Instagram smoke.
No, listen, no, man. I envision the dance hall playing that song and couples a rubber dub. I envision even Arvel, the dancer, Arvel Expressions.
Yeah.
I brought the album to him before it was released, because there was a mission that I wanted. The song Runaway Bay, I wanted the workers upon the North Coast in our hotels in Jamaica to feel appreciated. And that's why I say, "Runaway Bay, I want to run to you." Every song
You just
was
took me back to Ghana, you know.
Eh?
I premiered that song when I was in Ghana.
Are you serious?
Don't you remember I spoke to you when I was in Ghana? When I was down there for Stonewall and Shatawale.
Yes!
Clash. Yeah.
Yes!
I premiered
Oh, that was
song.
big, by the way.
Yeah.
You're doing some serious things
We
too.
tried.
Woo!
We tried.
That was big enough, man. I saw you in the middle of that. That was intense.
Are you for? I me for tell you.
Intense.
Shatawale was on the stage.
So far the culture gone.
Wait. Shatawale was on stage being fed food.
Yes.
Waiting for Stonewall to come to clash, you know. You can't get better.
It's like, isn't he a character? I mean, that guy's a character. Yeah.
I'm a boy. So you've mentioned positive vibrations quite a few times
Yeah.
in the discussion.
Yeah, man.
And that's what you do when you have a Grammy nominated album, isn't it?
Oh, not really. It's just
Yeah, no, that's what you do,
Yeah,
girls.
no,
You're on a run, man.
No, it's the reason why, Shani, is that it's a source of reference of my life. You know, I mean, those are real songs that identify with me. It's not just to mention it or it's just to talk about it, because this is really about life. We're having a conversation. But it's become a part of my life and who I am today and where I am in my life.
Because it was recorded in a very unique time as well.
Yes, Shani. So it's a reflection of where I am. Like, it happened in a, like, we will forever remember the pandemic
100%.
of 2020.
What did you do?
What did you do? How did you grow? That's why I said to people, and the whole project came about, Shani, was me meeting Johnny Reed and just saying, being at the point of my life where I had the time. And what he said to me, I was at a hockey game and I met him and he said, so mate, what do you want to do? He's from Scotland. And he had a studio that he just built and was like, he told me to come by. And he had the microphone that he had there with Johnny Cash sung on the microphone, Ray Charles, Willie Nelson. And I'm like, so I went there as a fan, like it was a museum. And he said, mate, I looked you up last night. You have a great voice, man.
That's not a Scottish accent, by the way.
I'm trying, Johnny. Forgive me. He said, mate, you go. I got it now. He said, mate, you got to come to the studio, mate. You got to check it. And then I came up to the studio, and the whole thing I told him is that I want to become a better songwriter. Imagine in 2020, is no you want to become a better songwriter, Gramps? Why not? I have the time. So how can I better myself? So that whole thing for me, Shani, was this Positive Vibration album is a growth period and the maturity and the flowering of Gramps. So I was able to get, you know, as to having a $5,000 microphone to record on every day, I had a $35,000 microphone to record on every day and was able to hear the difference because we have the time. There was no pressure. I would say, yo, next client is coming in and you have to come out of the studio. There wasn't that pressure.
Engineer, so shift from mic and clarity.
Talk to me now. Come on. You was there when we did the BBC recording.
Reposition.
Thank you, sir. Shani, you know.
The bass sounds a little bit,
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And in a lot of times in studios in Jamaica, they don't do that. It's like, yo, ready, man, ready. See, y'all ready now. 1, 2. They don't take them time and say, well, that might sound good, but let's try another one. I was able to do that with this album, as well as to perfect my songwriting. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics on the song, listen to the song with me and Indie Paradise. You listen to the lyrics, the song with me and Shaggy where say float your boat, where it's just this easy song, and here's this man that's been there, done that, and say, yo, if you need some help, just tie your boat onto mine. Whatever floats your boat. It's just taking life easy. So it's really a reflection of my life when you listen to the lyrics. And meeting Johnny Reed was a big part of my life. I'll forever be grateful to him because there was a shift in the paradigm in my life when you listen to those songs and me paying respect to, you know, and you don't put no water in my whiskey, man. You know, people that write song topics like that. It's like, I'm about to talk about whiskey. I'm talk about float your boat. That's our culture. We're not expanding our minds. And it's what is holding back our music business today. Dancehall and reggae.
You sound very much like how Shaggy sounded when he worked with Sting.
See?
And you can't help but think about the parallel of the white guys doing stuff.
Yeah.
Is it because of social, economic reasons and money and power that they are able to acquire and be able to do certain things at a certain level where we are still stuck in, as nice as my little lab is, but we're stuck in here without the extra space, the extra room to be able to create that extra time, because with that extra time we have to think about how we really feed our family, because we don't have those luxuries.
I think all of the above what you have said is true. You know, even I'm still learning to find out if a lot of these things are true. Just the other day I saw an interview with Shaggy. Shaggy's a good friend of mine, so excuse the reference. But, you know, and there's an article that came out that's where he said racism played a part in the success of Jamaican artists, right? Where he experienced and lived and can say and testify that yes, it's true. That even sometimes you hear a lot of people in the industry say, "Oh, true, him brown," or "Ooh, this," or "She not reach us because she black." But Shabba Ranks was able to achieve great success, so we can't say that fully. But does it play success? Shaggy said so, and he's been there and done that, right? For me, when we look at certain things, there's also we shoot ourselves in the foot, right? Where we're given opportunity and say, here's your chance, here's your shot, buddy, come on. Here it is. You got an interview with Shawnee B on one of the biggest radio stations, and you need to be at the radio station at 2:30. And the guy shows up at 4 o'clock.
Show up at what time? Sometimes they not show up.
Sometimes they don't show up.
This is the uncut part. Bro, you see how you pay for your Uber for coming here today?
Yes, sir.
I'm not fooled by me, PFR.
Oh, my God. See? No, that's the
So,
responsibility.
do you know how much time me here? Shawnee, man, have a drive, you know. Oh, you come to England and you have a drive.
Yes, your record label.
As a matter of fact, some of the English artists, them, Shawnee, man, have a drive, you know. I'm like, okay, cool.
Right.
I'll just continue with my career the way it is. You get what I'm saying? Like, shooting yourself in the foot.
Yes.
And I recently just wrote a column in The Voice about my 5 pointers to help revive Caribbean music.
Yeah.
Because I strongly believe that we are now at the back of the queue.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that music is dead, because the music definitely is not dead. The music is more than alive, and we're powerful. Mm-hmm. But we're not achieving the way we should be. We are like kids that are at school, that coast, and then at the end of term, when you do your mock exams and you see what the grades are, you're like, oh. You do that for the last 3 months to catch up.
Right.
And you catch up, but you don't quite catch up to which part you should be if you were been performing at the level that you should be performing. Yes. And there is the 5 points that people can go and read. And the funniest thing is, Gramps, and I'll touch on a few of them: proper management, dropping the ego, overinflated prices, being aware to work with certain producers that may not be hype and not your brethren or part of our camp, but to be able to advance your sound. Better DJs. Yes. I'm looking at myself and my colleagues and all the rest of it. Let's say 100 people replied to me. 2 people said me I talk stripping this. And even then, them never said me I talk stripping this. They actually said, okay, I hear your points, but maybe look at this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. But the one resounding thing that everybody came to me off air came and said is, you're brave.
You're brave.
Enough industry people. And I know, sir, I did put my neck out there. Right. Your head will get chopped off for having an opinion on an industry that I work in 24/7. Me not do nothing else. And this me do all the while.
Yes, sir.
I had an opinion, and even though nobody disagreed, I'm brave.
Yes.
Brave because I'm chatting about things that we see every day.
Yeah.
That's not brave.
Yeah. And it's so easy to point the finger to say, oh, it's because of this, or why I'm in a bus, or because of this, or them a fight against me. We need to stop that. It's I almost call it the slave syndrome, where we say it's easier to blame your failure on other people, you know. And like I said, you know, the racism in that plays a factor in many things. And, you know, I was having this conversation. The race card is so easily to be played. And in many times, race is an issue.
But it's just an obstacle that you have to hurdle over.
Thank you, right? And break your way through it, because our ancestors had to fight through worse. So you trying to tell me because he didn't give you an interview because of this or whatever, and then you get the chance to go on a bigger platform and you show up late and you can't find your own transportation? If you were organized, you should have had a manager arrange with the record label that is deducted from your budget. So you get transported, or a driver is hired for that day. That's just organization. You got to organize your business.
Make it be a dub plate session. You see how quick they would have found.
Right.
Quick.
Right.
The money I run. But they don't
therefore,
see the worth in...
being on time for an
basics,
interview.
the foundations, the things that you have to do in this business.
And that's why, you know, people got to pay the artists that make that investment in themselves. You got to pay them, right? It's like Fat Joe came out the other day and said, yesterday's price is not today's price, right? And you got to look at it like, you got to look upon a Buju Banton, that been there, done that. When them man they perform, I've learned this term from Buju. Me perform till me sweating on my shoes. Do you know how hard you have to perform for sweat reach all the way down in your shoes?
Ask anyone that see me DJ in the club, they will tell you, Shooty's always sweating to his shoes. My socks is always damp in the morning.
You're so massive.
I'm putting in the work.
But people don't work like that or give them all anymore.
You have to.
So it's those things, when you talk about a guy that makes a demand and say, okay, I want this for a dub, I want this for a show, you have to give it to him because you know you're going to get 100%.
But you know what it is though, Gramps? Some people don't know what it's like not to have. Yeah. And when I say not to have, and I don't like to split generations, genuinely I don't, but some people need to realize history plays a lot. That's why the word is there, history.
Big time.
There was a time where we never had so many platforms to be able to do, even to be able to do this interview and get it out there. Yeah. I could do this and stick it up on YouTube. It's out there.
Done.
Before, there was no platforms like this.
Yeah.
So we appreciate the things that we have right now.
True.
That's why you are there on time, because you know what it's like not to have.
Yeah.
When you know when it was bleak.
Yeah.
Imagine, there's a legal radio station, several now in the UK, that you could come to as a reggae artist and go and do interviews. Once upon a time, it was just Choice FM.
That's correct.
If it weren't Daddy Ernie, and if you get to go and speak to Chris Goldfinger up our Radio 1 in the night on a Saturday, like... But now there's so many different platforms. So maybe that's why the attitude is, it's there.
Yeah.
But if you know what it's like when it wasn't there, then you will know to politic is different.
Yeah, man.
So talking about yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yeah.
If you win the Grammys this year, trouble.
The price goes up.
Does a part of you really want that double award Grammy winning Gramps by your name? How much you want that?
Not crazy bad, but
a little bit.
Yeah, well, we all want it.
Yeah, of course.
I would like it, but it's not like give me off to win a Grammy. You know, I'm already a Grammy winner. I think it begins to become an ego thing once you win. Like, I want 2 or 3. True. You're still going to be called a Grammy award-winning producer.
But this is a solo project as well.
Right.
How much does the awards and the accolades and all that mean to you?
It's gratification, right? To say, okay, we see you. Great work. Right, by your peers. And that's why the Grammys is so important, because it's not based on the fans. It's not based on how many shows you sold out. It's not based on how many records you sold. It's based on the composition, the things that are important to you as a producer, Shawnee.
Right.
And to say, me put the right guitar on it and I put the right microphone on that snare.
But the people that are judging you are people from that world.
Thank you. That's what the Grammys is about. A lot of people don't understand. So that's why a lot of times nominations come out and people don't, they're like, what? That album got nominated for a Grammy? Because they're basing it off of how many songs they heard, how many times they heard that song play on the radio. It's not based off of that.
This is not quantitative. No. This is qualitative.
Right. So Billboard Awards is based off of sales. So those awards are based on how much record, and the billboards, they track that with SoundScan and know how much records are sold. So that award show is based on that. The MTV Music Awards is based on the quality of your video and how many spins your video made and the impact it had on pop culture. So boom. But the Grammys is not based on that. So it's so important to me. And that's why when it got nominated, even the morning to get nominated, I wasn't even paying attention, Shawnee, because I was watching it as a fan. I was rooting for Spice album because I know that was a groundbreaking dancehall album with a groundbreaking artist. So I was cheering for her and Itana. And, I think those are the 2 things I was looking to say. And forgot to say I submit my album. So I was there watching as a fan, that when they said my name, I was like, I was screaming like a girl.
You see where you're sitting?
Yeah.
More or less. That's where I was sitting when I found out that Strictly Roots won.
Oh my God.
Right in here, right in the assa.
Oh my God.
Went on the screaming. I get it. I totally get it. 100%,
So you understand.
100%.
So it would be great because it's historical that I won with, and you have artists that win Grammys 5. So Herbie Hancock, Quincy Jones, these guys have 40 Grammys, 30 Grammys, right? So for them, it's like, but no matter what, it's not like the first one.
Can't take it away from you.
Yeah, you can't take it away. Forever, you will ever be the Grammy Award winning producer. You realize that that is with you for life?
Yeah.
No one can take that away. So what happens when you win a second time? They still only say, they may throw on one word, Grammy Award winning. But that's to feed your own ego. You're still the Grammy Award winning producer. So for me, I'm already a Grammy Award winning artist. But the significance of doing it solo, and I've done it with my brothers, is amazing. Like, and a lot of people don't even know I won a Grammy with Buju's album, Before the Dawn, right? In the RE. Region Fire nomination.
So you take your music off of Spotify?
Well, it's something, excuse me. It's something to discuss because I do believe Spotify, as one of the leaders in streaming music, needs to rethink of how they're treating artists, because it almost makes you feel like Spotify and the record labels are in cahoots. They're paying the artist nothing for a stream. Them as a record now sell like one time. So, okay, them stream a Shawnee B produced song, and you realize that you get less than half of a penny. Let's think about that for a minute. I remember when your 45 used to sell for $3 or £2. And now you're getting less
than a penny.
Not even half a pound in a matter, but a pence. So, what's really going on? And
I'd like to know what is on the back end, as in how much the company is making.
That conversation is not even being had.
That is what is the important part.
Right.
Like, if I'm getting this, where you are get?
Yeah.
Where the rest of it there?
Where's it going?
Where's it going?
So
that means that somebody
maybe it's easier for Shawnee B, that is a Grammy Award winning producer, to set up his own website and sell his music directly there.
And I think, you know what is the craziest thing is? It sounds like an enormous task. But all these things that are popping right now started off from an initial thought like that.
That's correct. So it's hard. It's even when Jay-Z came up with Tidal, you know, and this was groundbreaking. It just goes to show you that, you know, we in the black music industry.
He may win after all.
Yeah, right. And he ended up selling the company. He had to sell it because it was going down, because nobody was promoting Tidal. Everything is Apple Music and Spotify, because they're the most famous. They got the most marketing money. And I seen when he came up with that, and the artists that supported him, and there was not a lot of artists that was promoting him.
Damien went over there.
Damien was helping with them as a reggae artist, representing our genre and our music, and not our genre, but our culture. As a reggae man, as a reggae dancer man, say, yo, I'm going to invest in that and I'm going to help promote it. No. And guess what? When you play your music on Tidal, it sounds better because the bit rate of the music. Did you know that?
I didn't.
The bit rate is higher. It's not compressed. They don't compress the music as much. So even when you send a wave to a lot of DJs today, they're like, yo, I can't open that file there, man. Just send the MP3.
Well, you know what? I have to say, I don't know how much that even matters in today's society right now.
They can't hear it. Most people can't hear it.
People can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
Listen,
but to the artistry, the artists.
True.
Like for you as a producer, I want to hear it.
I know Gramps is listening.
Right.
That's what it is. Gramps, we could have, this is the first time that we proper sit down and just chat.
This is historical.
Brukout and chat.
Yeah,
listen,
man.
It's been an absolute pleasure, my brother. I wish you all the best on your trip over here. And keep safe, because Hurricane Eunice. This is nothing to you, like.
I never experienced a hurricane in the UK.
This is nothing, man.
This is a breeze.
This is your Miami, your flipping Jamaica. This is like breeze. Breeze, this is somebody letting off wind.
Cool breeze.
Listen, and all the best for your Grammy nomination this year, even though it's not much, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Brukout and chat. Gramps from Morgan Heritage.
Respect.
Blessings.
Solid.